Hey, beasties! It is that time again. We're back, the Poisonous Daily, and we have another amazing guest, the amazing, talented, and for those who don't know him, you're going to get to know him now. So here we go. I am going to introduce you guys to this very talented artist, Sebastian Torrens. Say hi, beasties.
How's it going? Thank you again, Chris, for having me.
Of
Always a pleasure.
course. How can I not? So, for those that are now like meeting you, the beasties are just meeting you, and obviously you have people that already know you. How would you introduce yourself in one sentence?
So, in one sentence, how would I introduce myself? I'm Sebastian Torrens. I'm an illustrator that is currently New York based. Currently working within more so the comic space right now, really just trying to break into mainstream comics as well as like editorial illustration. I also have a passion for like concept art and visual development. I would probably just find my style more within like the graphic arts, very much inspired by like strong draftsmanship from like graphic novel artists and manga artists as well. Um, I'd say that's the best way to describe me. Maybe that was like two. I think I broke the rule a little bit on that one, but
Who cares? You got it. You did it. That. It's hard to describe yourself with what I can't even do it. Like, how do I describe myself in one sentence? I don't know. Chaos. Just
yes.
one word. That's all I can see now. But what story behind your journey into your current creative field? What is it? Like, what is this story behind your journey?
Pretty much in terms of my story, I just grew up loving to draw, huge comic book fan. I grew up literally with watching the reruns of like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. And from there, just pretty much like, you know, um, pun intended, I guess, but the bug bit me in that sense, where I just became like super fascinated with everything revolving around comics. Then that graduated into video games, animation, of course. And then just from there, I just always wanted to improve my artwork and just get better and better each day. From there, I pretty much studied illustration at Pratt. Um, I was more so going down like a visual development route in terms of like I was really interested by like painting and like really high rendered pieces that you see from like MCU concept art books. And then from there it kind of just shifted into more just back into drawing because I just felt like I was so held up by um the stuff you see with like digital painting and stuff like that, where I was like, you know what, I kind of want to just go back to drawing and like go back to my first love of comics and like animation because I just got a little burnt out. And then from there, I just kind of had to reinvent myself post college and kind of like still figuring things out. But I felt like after college, it was like, oh, I'm starting to find myself a little bit more. Um, Long story short, pretty much, there was a lot of like um, turmoil in terms of both like personal and then also just kind of like where the school that I went to pretty much wanted to go. So it was just kind of like figuring that out and then asking myself, okay, where do I actually want to see myself and where do I actually want to prioritize like my goals and my hopes and dreams. I'm still doing that now, but of course it's like much more focused in terms of like I know I want to do like art at the end of the day, like illustration especially, and just kind of focus in on that and just get better and better and just constantly experimenting um, with whatever processes I might use. Like even right now, I'm using things like 3D models, which I never exactly thought I would use, but now it's like with Blender, it's like I'm learning about all these different lighting modes, and I'm like, oh wait, this is a complete game changer. Okay, and like even experimenting with something like the camera that is available in like these 3D modeling programs. And it's just like, it's just been eye opening. So, my story has just been kind of like bouncing around into like different freelancing jobs, even right now, working a day job to support what I want to do ultimately with my art. And then even working right now with a mentor who is helping me towards the career that I want at the end of the day.
I know you mentored with oh my god, I'm forgetting his name and his artwork is hanging in my freaking office right now.
Edgardo?
Yes.
Yes.
So, how was it being mentored by him? I know, like, I wouldn't be the person I am in my legal career if it wasn't for my mentors. Mentors play a major part in anyone's career. How was it mentoring with someone who not only does amazing artwork, but has moved and put our culture forefront and created a Latina superhero that is everything?
So that's a great question. Yeah. So I met Edgardo back in 2023, where it's really funny. I had a teacher back in high school who knew him, and she knew his wife. And then I was just kind of looking for a job at the time, and she connected me with him because I was just willing to take an internship as well, just to kind of gain experience or something on my resume. So I had met him. Pretty much, I was helping out with New York Comic Con and just setting up the table and stuff like that. And he also gave me a lot of advice and insight on the comic book industry. In terms of being mentored by him, I really learned a lot about like navigating the industry, pretty much in terms of like how to connect with people, just pretty much, like just kind of marketing yourself in general as well. The amount of like I already knew like how much it took for comic book creators, especially, to really just put themselves at the forefront. But like with him, it was like secondhand experience because I'm seeing everything through him. But I really just saw everything from his point of view and just kind of like really just dived into what he was doing, and that was eye opening for me. I had never really personally seen that, and then working with him, I truly saw it from like him even in the middle of like writing his newest graphic novel to even like setting up at conventions and stuff like that, and just the way he moved within the industry and just kind of like how he navigated in that space. So he really taught me in terms of like just connecting with people, of course, really understanding what's personal to like oneself and just using that to connect with others as well. Um, and just pretty much in terms of just like, especially as we people of color, just kind of like how we have to just work 10 times harder than the person next to us. And that's something my parents instilled in me. But it was also just great having a mentor who understood that and had that, because it's like I I've had the experience of kind of having certain teachers, unfortunately, just kind of like both in art and outside of art, just not really understanding um, the struggles people of color go through. And it's really tough just trying to explain to them, like, hey, I can't exactly do something like that, like the way you did it. Like, I don't want to put any particular like situation on blast, but I had a certain professor who was very aggressive in terms of certain tactics he would use. And it
I
was just kind of
all had
like,
that one professor.
yeah. And it was just like, geez, I can't just I can't just like even certain things he's like, yeah, I've been in court 10 times over artwork and stuff like that. And I'm like, the stuff you're saying right now, I can't do. I hope I never end up in court. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, oh God, I don't quite know if they understand what we go through on a daily basis or even how we have to move within the industry. So just
I
especially
think
from,
I think it's because we kinda look like them, they think we could just still
mhm,
go through the phases that we go through.
yeah. Even then, it's like I'm like darker complexion, and it's like I mean, in this lighting, it's a little bit more different, but it's like I go out in like in Jersey, where I'm originally from, and like I get dark super fast to the point where people are like, oh, like
Yep,
like,
that melatonin kicks in.
yeah,
We tan. We told well,
yeah,
I can't say all of us tan
no,
because I
yeah,
got some in my family. They just turn red.
mm, yeah,
They
um,
turn red.
yeah, no, I know
They
exactly
turn
what you're talking
golden,
about.
but they turn red like they can't tan for the life of them.
Yeah,
But no, it's understandable, and it like I says, I'm pretty sure we've all gone through it at some point, and we had that one professor that that they're not really thinking how people like us have to move a certain way,
mm,
or certain barriers that are placed in front of us once a person finds out, like, yeah, we kind of fit in, but once we like proudly say we're Latina or Latino, or we're Black or Chinese or of another descent, it's like, boom, you're knocked right back down and you
mm,
have to like get up and punch through
exactly.
the walls again.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, and I'm pretty sure a lot of students can relate to this, or anyone could relate to this. How would you define your creative identity today? I know you said you're still discovering and going through your phases. We all do it. I've done it multiple times. So, how would you define your creative identity as of today?
As of today, I would probably define it as I'm very much influenced by like comics and manga. I'm inspired first and foremost by like strong draftsmanship, um, really just drawing pretty much, and like with strong line work, just bold, high contrast, especially right now. Um, that's probably the best short term explanation, I guess, because that's kind of where I've been heading myself towards.
Mhm,
Because I just feel like a strong drawing, more than anything, can outshine a beautiful rendering of anything any day of the week. Personally, a beautiful painting is a beautiful painting. I won't knock on that. I don't want to knock on people who are like, "Oh, I like to paint. I like to render." For me personally, I see something like from John Paul Leon or Chase Conley, where it's like they don't render anything. For the record, for those who don't know, John Paul Leon is like the main comic book artist from like the older Static Shock comic books. So
mhm,
like stark black and white contrast, and like something about his work also just kind of read similar to graffiti for me personally, which growing up, I mean, I grew up in the suburbs, but I would go to Brooklyn, like growing up to visit my grandmother, and it was just like seeing the graffiti and stuff like that, and seeing John Paul Leon's work. I don't know what it was, just something spoke to me about like graffiti and just being in New York. Um, so with them, they just have a solid drawing and they just present that. And I'm like, I don't need anything else. I don't need this to be fully rendered. I don't need this in like a fully developed piece of concept art. I like this, I like what this is conveying and communicating to me. And that has been my main focus in terms of just like getting the idea out there and just pretty much having that at the forefront. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm experimenting a lot with like digital tools as well. But I mean, like overall draftsmanship for me is kind of like the end all be all. With solid line work, colors, of course. I mean, I personally like to color my own work, but stuff that's bold and just communicates an effective message or story is what stands supreme to me at the end of the day.
No, it's amazing. Like, everyone has something that calls to them, and they're inspired by something somehow, some way. And I say it all the time, like when it comes to creators, whether it's a music artist, a producer, a person that plays instruments, artists, painters, anything of that, tattoo artists, any type of creative field, anytime we create something, we're putting a piece of our soul into our work. That's who we are, that's a part of us. It takes time, there's hours behind it, there's how many times have you ripped out a page and like, I'm gonna start it again kind of concept. So I know you mentioned like your drive. So what drives your work? Is it emotional or the concept? Because you mentioned concept and storytelling, or is there something else that drives you?
That's a good question. In terms of something else that drives anything that drives me, I mean, probably just probably just the innate desire just to like make, for lack of better words, and also I'm just gonna say, like I refrain from
Listen, there's
cursing.
no filters here. There's no
All right,
filters. Remember, I have no filters. This is
awesome.
to speak your truth, say who you are, give
Yeah,
let the world know who you are. Like there's no judgment. Like this is your space, your time. So don't worry about anything. We all know I'm not TikTok friendly.
sounds good. No, but a story I have is like a professor of mine just went around the class and she was like, "I'm just gonna ask you, what do you like to draw?" And she asked everybody, and for me, I just said badass shit. I just said it like that because I was like, I mean, like, yeah, do I like to draw superheroes every now and then? Yeah, but sometimes I'm like, all right, I just want to draw something cool though, like stuff I see in like some comics where it's like not quite superheroes, not quite like anti-heroes or anything like that. It's just like, oh, this is awesome and like this is just badass and or like fucking cool. And so pretty much like that's just like where my drive comes from. It's like I'm always just interested by like stuff that's like high octane and high energy. For me, it started with comics, then it graduated into film, video games, just really anything that's like high octane,
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
action. Yeah, I joke around with some friends where I'm like, yeah, it's very testosterone fueled, you know. So some of my work, I feel like it's toned down a little bit, but it's like, I'm hoping to like create. I mean, of course, I'm hoping to create more work in the future, but like, I'm hoping over the summer to focus a lot more on my artwork, and just create more portfolio work to speak to that innate desire that I have personally, and in terms of anything else that drives me, I mean, like I love storytelling. Um, yeah, storytelling and just making badass shit, as I like to say, back when I was like
that
21, junior.
hey, you can't like listen, it's I'll probably get that answer like that type of answer from my son. Like is he wants to do animation. Like we all draw in my family, but my son is actually focusing more. Well, I can't say nothing. My brother, who graduated from Pratt as well, he graduated in architecture. So it runs in the family. We all go different ways, but it's
Mm,
an answer that you expect that can just like because that's how you feel.
yeah.
Would you say that there is like either a core message or some type of philosophy that connects with your everyday creativity? Like, I'll give you the perfect example. My philosophy is that, because we've heard entire life, we have God gifted talents, right? Or, divine for those who don't believe in God, divine being blessed us with our creativity and our talents. Like my philosophy is saying is that like when it's my time and I stand before whether it's God or whatever divine being there is for those who don't believe, I can say like I have no more talent and I use every ounce of my talent that they bless me with,
Mm,
that I don't have it no more.
yeah.
So like that's like my philosophy. What would you say your philosophy or motto or core message is when it comes to your creativity?
Damn, that's a good question. Um, I guess. I mean, something that got brought up recently to me was just the fact that I never quit anything. And even if I'm not really like crazy about it, like my parents, they tried to put me in sports and it was just like I would finish the season, but I was like, I hate this so much. I
At least
genuinely
you finished the season. There's some kids that are just like, I'm not doing it.
like even my parents were like, you can quit. And I was like, no, like I'm staying in here. Like I don't like it's like
I'm just gonna eat it. That's it.
yeah,
I'm
I'll just eat
done.
it. And like by no means would I ever be like, oh, like I can't quit art because I'm this close, or like, or like no matter how burnt out I get. By all means, like I strongly do believe if something's like tearing me down, it's like, okay, I have to
Mm-hmm.
put this on hold. But it's like with my artwork especially, it's just been like it's something I'm so passionate about personally. Um and it's like I've had a lot of things deter me, especially post graduation, and even like I'll even go as far as to say post COVID, because with AI and just the amount of things that have happened, like with the like recently with the Marvel Studios layoffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just heard about it.
yeah, it's just disgusting, and it's like so discouraging. Like right now, like I'll be honest with you, it's discouraging to be an artist. It's very discouraging.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah,
I feel like, listen, I'm not saying I'm avid. AI is a great tool when used properly.
yeah, no, yeah,
Like I am not gonna say like, you know, it's great when you use it properly and use it as a tool
100%.
to fix or correct something you originally created, not using it as a tool and saying, "Hey, I created this. This is all me." Meanwhile, you didn't even fucking put pen to
Yeah,
pencil. Like, not even a cent is your idea.
yeah,
Um, you know, it's great when you use it for correcting grammar, but you still have to go back and
yeah,
double check, and people fail to realize it. It is just a
yeah,
tool,
yeah,
and there's so many people that think, "Oh, I could get away with this." No, you can't get away with it because also AI, what they're not realizing, violates so many trademark and copyright
mm,
infringements and so many laws and stuff like that. And I've taken multiple CLEs about it because, we thought we were going to have to worry about it in the legal field. Obviously, we really don't.
yeah,
We figured out how to use it to our advantage as a tool. Um, but do we use it a lot? No.
mm,
Um, we're just old school, and then when you're an old school person, the way I am, you have all your templates. You really don't need it. Um, I kind of think this whole AI phase, I could relate it back to when DJing went digital.
oh yeah,
I think this will be the best example. So, DJing was, you had to carry all these fucking crates or your turntables and the mixer, and it was like a whole fucking process. Then Serato came out, and I actually still have my Serato box. uh it made it a little bit easier because now we could have all the music digitally. And what happened was, it was your computer, then you attached the computer to the Serato box. The Serato box got attached to the mixer, and the mixer was still attached to the 1200s, and you
mm,
didn't have to change the vinyl.
yeah,
You had blank vinyl, or wax as we like to call it, and you still had to mix the old-fashioned way.
mm,
Now technology started developing, and now they created a way for push button DJs,
yeah,
or as we call them, push button DJs, to say, "Hey, I'm a DJ now." But if you ask them to mix without any special
yeah,
software, they can't do it.
yeah, mm,
They can't do it. So that's how, like, you'll tell them, "Oh, um, blend this," and they don't know how to blend, or
yeah,
they don't know how to hear music and do the
mm,
cuts or come about. So, like, I think this whole AI phase that we're going to kind of goes back to when DJing went digital.
yeah,
Yes, it made it easier for a lot of DJs because now they don't have to carry all these fucking crates, and, like, it was just a laptop and a box and your needles. Or
yeah,
if you had to bring turntables and you had your whole setup.
yeah,
Now they have that, um So I got like I went through this anger phase and I got rid of my 1200s and stuff like that, and I fucking regret it. But
Man,
when I started coming back, I went and I asked my cousin, like, what is gonna give me the closest feel to wax? Because I really can't do CDJs, even though I was a house and EDM and techno DJ. I hated CDJs. I mixed with 1200s.
mm,
I have to feel it. It feels weird to me. So my cousin put me on to the Rain One because you got little vinyls and you feel wax,
yeah,
but the mixer and everything is attached and it's a cute
right.
controller. And then I love it because it's all black. Um, so it made it easier, but
Yeah,
still nothing's doing nothing for me.
true. You still know the fundamentals at the end of the day. Yeah,
Exactly. Nothing is doing. All I'm doing is my music, easier, quicker to attach. Now I don't have to carry a box around because the controller has everything. What do I have to carry around? Wires and my what is it? Your drive,
yeah.
and that's it. So like this AI thing, and I'm starting to see a lot more that now a lot of conventions are banning AI work, and
Oh
I
yeah,
love and I appreciate it for a lot of you guys because it must suck. And I think one of my friends, JG, who does a lot of media content. Also, he's a content creator and he goes to a lot of cons and does a lot of interviews. He's very talented. So shout out to JG. He even like hit me up and was like we were talking about a convention and I was like, "Oh, how was the convention?" He was like, "Oh, I was highly upset. They had AI artwork. Like
wow.
that's
Yeah, I've
so
heard about
messed
that.
up."
Yeah,
And like here's a person that is not an artist but appreciated artists'
yeah.
work. And for me, like right now, I haven't bought new artwork because I got like what, like one, two, three, four, five pieces right here in
No,
frame. Wait. Four pieces in frames, and I have like two more pieces that I need to buy frames for. But I don't know where to hang them because I have no space. So like now I'm like trying to find space in my house for my artwork because art to me is important. Like
yeah,
it expresses so many things. And when I go to conventions, I want to buy actual pieces. I don't want something that's AI generated. Like who the fuck wants it? That's like a
yeah,
tattoo artist AI generating something and then putting it on your skin. It's
yeah. It's
like
so
it has no story. It has no soul. It doesn't go back to the fundamentals of art and
yeah,
beauty and what it is.
yeah,
So I like this whole AI situation. I'm just like you and everyone else. I'm actually very disappointed with Marvel's move
yeah,
because a lot of their fandom was because of the artwork, not
yeah,
just superheroes. It was the artwork
yeah.
and the story, and it's there. But I want to dive a lot deeper into you because I know you have your website.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
let everybody know what your website is.
yeah. So I can be found on www.sebtorrens.com. Similar to my Instagram handle. I just use Seb Torrens predominantly, mainly because like a lot of people have trouble spelling Sebastian. So I just put down sebtorrens.com. So yeah. Um,
So, what would you say, like, when they go to your site, what is the first thing that you want people to feel or understand about you?
So, in terms of the first thing people want, and the first thing I want people to understand about me is just pretty much just like the work, the kind of work I do. Talking back about my style, um, influenced by like graphic arts, especially with graphic novels, editorial illustration. I posted like on my first page, I have like six of my like best works pretty much up there, or at least what I think are my best works. And then from there, I just kind of let the user just kind of check it out. And I keep my website like design super simple, where I'm like, here's my work. Um, Go to this tab for the illustration. and come to this tab for like the character design. And from there, pretty much, I just am able to just kind of have the user just click on whatever image they want. I show my process through some of them too, especially because like I use 3D. I also want to make sure like, hey, I can actually draw, and like there's steps to this, like there's
Yeah.
levels to this shit, man. So
I don't think people realize like it's funny, my god brother,
yeah, same.
what a lot of people don't understand is like our conversations, other than me us sending like a million memes. You know what's weird? We have each other's numbers, but we talk more on Instagram. It's crazy.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
It's crazy. But
yeah,
anyway, is like I'll see like memes making fun of AI, so like us
yeah,
complaining about AI amongst our conversations, or like people that don't understand there's a process to artwork and it
yeah,
takes time
yeah,
and there's a lot of hours and stuff like that, but then they only want to pay like $10. Like, are you
yeah,
fucking serious?
yeah. It's
Have you
crazy.
had those experiences?
Oh, way more than I would honestly like to admit. And sometimes I even have it at my day job, which isn't art related, but sometimes it's like, sometimes people just don't understand the process of what other people do. And I remember I had to go to one of my coworkers about something that I had to tell another coworker, like, hey, we need to do this. And I had to go to that coworker, the other guy, and I was like, I was speaking English to that guy, right? And he was like, no, you were. You were. It's not just us. It's like, but with art, focusing on art, it's insane. Like sometimes it's like, oh, like I want this, this, and that, and I'm like, the only way I'm going to do that is I need to rearrange the composition entirely because this something's going to get messed up while doing this, and I need to repose this. I need to have this different lighting over here, and it's just like, or like we're gonna have to compromise somewhere on something because I can't give you the whole kitchen sink, and it's
Why?
just I have to like yeah, it happens a little too often than I would like. Thankfully, a lot of clients that I've had for the most part pretty understanding. There have only been a couple of times where I'm just kind of like I just kind of look at them like, "Are you serious right now? You do realize we're gonna have to like start all the way from step like numbers like 2 or 3, which isn't that bad, but at the same time, it's like you want a complete game changer." Like the best was when I designed a logo for somebody's podcast, and then they were like, "Hey, this looks really cool," and then they had their friend like draw another logo, and they were like, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "So I'm not saying you want me to redesign the logo entirely, but like, thanks for them for doing the work. But also at the same time, I'm like,
Why
okay,
hire me?
yeah, exactly. Why hire me? I still charge them like whatever I wanted, to be quite frank with you. But at the same time, it was still like, dude, like,
Let me explain something to you. I sometimes I swear to God I think I'm from a fucking another multiverse. Um, like I deal with creators all the time. My stylist, like I get mad at my stylist. He's like, he'll be doing my hair, and I'll look at him and I'm like, didn't I tell you from day one I'm like your life size Puerto Rican Barbie doll? Just do. You
yeah,
don't need to explain. Just do. Remember,
exactly.
I don't care. I
Yeah,
trust you. I told you what I wanted and go from there.
yeah,
And I'm the same with my artwork. Like my logo on the thing. That was created by Saint. I just told him what I wanted
yeah,
and he came up with it.
yeah,
You know, uh any piece I get, if I tell an artist what I want and I'm coming to you, it's because I'm trusting you
1%.
that you know what you do. And
Yeah,
I feel like people need to understand this. Like, yeah, you have expectations and stuff like that. But if you're going to a person, it's because you're trusting them and there's something you're drawn to about their work. Let them do what they do.
exactly.
It's like a tattoo artist too. Like people like, I want this tattoo, but people also fail to realize they have to frame it to your body. There's a certain way. They know what they're doing. I guess I could use the best example. My most recent tattoo, La Flor
Oh,
de
yeah.
Manga, that I got. I drew it. I sent it to the artist. I said, "This is what I want." But he was like, I love the concept, I love the idea, but can I play with it? I was like, "Do whatever you want. I don't care." He made his things. He was like, "I don't wanna face it this way, I want it to face this
Yeah.
way," and then when he's placing it, obviously, he had to make additional changes. He had to change the leaves,
Yeah.
so on and so forth, but he did tamper with the piece. I drew it, and he
Mm.
just took my drawing, but I had a trust in him,
Yeah.
and he gave me an amazing piece,
Yeah.
you know? So, you pe people need to see that more, and it sucks, and this is why I like having conversation with artists like you, because maybe it would stop the fucking stupidity, I guess you could call it. Because honestly, like, when they, like, cut you guys off or don't appreciate what you're really doing or basically try to downgrade you or downpay you for amazing artwork that it has so much value to it,
Yeah.
um, it sucks. I get pissed off and I draw, but I don't sell my artwork. I
Mm.
wouldn't have patience. You guys are fucking brave. Like, I'll be like, "Fuck this. I'm not doing this shit."
Yeah. I get it. I mean, by all means, also to add on to that like topic, just constructive criticism by all means is like necessary. And like
There's
I
nothing wrong with it.
yeah, and like I always enjoy constructive criticism from like whatever client I have because like, hey, it might open to me to new possibilities or it might call me out like, dude, you okay, you kind of half-assed this aspect of the drawing. It's like everything else looks great, but like what happened here? And it's like, all right, I'm holding myself accountable as I always do. But you know, like just in general, like yeah, constructive criticism by all means is warranted. But there's a level.
You can't be a creator if you can't take constructive
Oh,
criticism.
1%.
You
Yeah.
you can't be even honestly, it's not just being a creator. Professionally, if you cannot take any constructive criticism, then you cannot be a
Yeah.
professional. Point
1%.
blank.
Yes.
Point blank.
Agreed.
But I know you mentioned you have 6 pieces up, correct?
6 pieces on my website, I
Mhm.
believe.
On your website.
Front page.
So those
Um,
are your pieces, right?
yeah,
Can
I have more though
you pick
in general.
one that is like your best representation of who you say you are? Like, can you pick one?
I would probably say, for me, I'm looking at my website right now.
Oh, wait, I could actually show the screen. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
Go.
cool.
I'm gonna show the screen.
Um, I would probably say my Cyberpunk 2077 illustration, at the current moment. That's probably like my favorite piece that I've done. Mainly just because that was kind of when I started to experiment a lot more with my process and just kind of go all in terms of like, all right, um I'm using the things that I've already done or the things that I've already known to do, but I am able to better build upon what
Aha!
I've done in the past. So
Okay,
yeah.
you said cyberpunk. That's this
Yeah.
piece right here, correct?
Yes.
Look at that.
Thank you.
It's actually an awesome piece. I love how you went with that almost chrome-like, and then the colorizations on the outside.
Appreciate that.
Like, it has I'm, like, looking at it too. Hold on. I look like a big ass nerd right now. Yeah, I listen, I'm a sucker for black and white. Like, I love my
Oh,
color,
same
but
here.
when it comes to artwork, especially photography, I prefer black and whites. You know, my photography, a lot of my photography is landscape, underwater photography, but, like, I love digital, but I still prefer my film, like,
Mm,
old school style, especially black and white and being in the dark room, there's just something about it. And
Yeah.
I feel like when you do it, like when you do like those bronze or those chromes that have that black and white feel, it
Yeah.
just makes the piece stand out a little bit more. Or when you do get to add that touch of color, because I think digital wise, I used to love doing black and whites and then like
Mhm.
certain touches of color in certain spaces.
Yeah.
So like things like this, it's just like it also dates back to like artistic feels. So
100%.
this is an awesome piece. And I know you, so we're gonna go through it. Oh look, he has a turtle piece.
Yeah. I love
Us
me
turtle
some Ninja
friend.
Turtles.
Oh, so we have to ask who's your turtle? Because
All
I
right.
did hot takes and a lot of people I got some shit and they didn't even put comments. They just DM me. They're like, Donnie is not the best turtle.
Wow. I wouldn't put disrespect on Donnie's name. He's cool. I like Donnie a lot. Personally, I grew up as a Leonardo kid. I don't know. It's just me personally. Um,
So I actually love Leonardo, but
yeah.
me being the art nerd that I am, I know the Ninja Turtles are based on the founding
Oh,
fathers
of course.
with
Yes.
artwork. So Donatello, Da Vinci, um, then it's Leonardo. Oh, what am I doing? Anyway, so on.
Raphael,
Michelangelo,
Michael.
yada
Yeah.
yada. Um, Leonardo's actually my favorite artist of all time.
Oh, wow.
Then it's Claude Monet, and then Jason Pollock, Picasso, and so on and so forth. So Leonardo is my favorite, but Donatello is I think Donatello is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Same. I
I
get
mean,
it.
but everyone was always a Michelangelo.
Yeah. Mikey's awesome too. He's my second favorite.
Listen, they were all awesome. They're all
Yeah.
awesome.
I
So
love
I
Raph
had to
too.
bring it up because like someone got like really like a couple of people got offended. They didn't even commented on the video. They just like DM me like, yo, the
Wow.
Donatello's not.
Damn.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Listen, those hot takes were like insane. And then it's something else. But and I love this piece on the bottom. This is just like straight fine line work.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I have
Thank
to
you.
show this. Look at this fine line work.
Appreciate it.
So being, do you still like I'm an artist, like when I do I prefer paper. I
Yeah.
can't draw digitally. How are you able to function with this whole digital era?
So in terms of how I'm able to function, I've been using Photoshop since I was like 14. I just saw people like utilizing it in YouTube, like doing speed paints and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that. And I learned Photoshop pretty much almost by myself through YouTube. And I pretty much just use Photoshop. I use Clip Studio Paint as well. That's a really solid drawing software. It's actually more so based towards artists, I feel, because like Photoshop is like for photo editing, as it was like intended to be so. Even though it's like the industry standard, quote unquote.
Mhm.
Um, I also have been trying to draw a little bit more traditionally, especially like going back to our conversation about AI, but also like seeing certain work really has me inspired. Like there's this one artist who I've been loving as of recent. His name is Ryan Berry. He's at 9 Monkeys on Instagram, and like he does these like drawings that are like done with like a brush pen for the most part, and it's like a lot of cyberpunk mech stuff, mech related stuff, but he does it with a brush, and like he just like attacks the page, and I'm just like, this is insane. I even bought a course from him recently, so I'm kind of hoping to dive back into like drawing a lot more with like brush and ink, and just kind of like utilizing the skills I learned from this course into my digital artwork, because like I said before, first love was drawing, and just kind of like I want to dive more into that. And then with just drawing traditionally, it's like, okay, I may want to do that more and maybe try to figure out a way to like blend the two between digital and traditional. I keep a sketchbook on me, but I'm really focused on like trying to merge the two a little bit more when like in in the future.
Listen, we can manifest. There's nothing wrong with
Sure.
manifestation.
Uh-huh.
So I have to ask this because I know my answer. Like I fucking do 20 things at once. Like people find it weird. Like my brain, I live in chaos. I straight up I live in chaos, especially like I even when it's with my DJ, I'm more emotional when it comes to my music. So if I'm pissed off, you're gonna get a pissed off set. Like
Mm.
I think that's the only time I'm very gangster is when I'm pissed off. Then the hip
Wow.
hop side comes out. Like
Damn.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of like when I used to DJ, I kind of used to shut myself out
Mm.
and stay away from people. But anytime I do work, I will be like, or I'm working on something, I could be like game plan and like have a game plan, but I'll come up with like 30 other thousand things and like have
Yeah.
20 screens.
Oh
And
my
I
God. Yeah. I
like
know.
it's crazy. So would you say your work structure is your workflow is more structure, or do you thrive with chaos or experimentation?
Right now I'm definitely thriving a lot more with experimentation. I used to be a little bit more structured, like after college, like before I got the day job I currently have right now, because admittedly I needed a sense of structure after school, and I was like, I need to figure out some things with applying for like a job and just also just boosting up my portfolio. So it was structured in terms of that aspect, and I was pretty regimented. Now with some things I have going on, it's been a little chaotic. I'm kind of hoping to figure out a way to merge. Like, okay, I want to be a lot more structured. I want to be a lot more disciplined, but also I have to be understanding of myself that I have to be able to handle whatever life throws at me. Because if I'm too structured and too regimented, and if one little thing gets in my like, in general, also I'm someone who I probably do better underneath structure, but also I'm personally a mess. But when one little thing is kind of thrown into my schedule and it messes like a couple things up, I'm like, oh my God, my whole week is ruined. Like that's me. I'm a little over dramatic, but I'm trying to just in general just get better in that aspect. So right now, chaos is where I kind of am just like, all right, I need to be in the trenches right now and just embrace this. But pretty soon I just want to organize certain things a lot more just to overall just get better. And discipline is a skill that is very much so like like it helps people for a reason. And I definitely need a sense of it. So
Yeah,
but at the current moment it's just like, all right, I'm thugging
experimental
it out.
chaos.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta thug it out, and I just need to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So yeah.
So everyone goes through this, not only just creative people. It happens in professional careers as well, in corporate world and stuff like that. You know, but I think the ones that get it the most are creative people. Like
Yes.
what advice would you have, or how do you handle burnout or creative blocks? Because it's not just writer's block, there's
Mm.
art block, there's music block, there's some type of burnout or blockage that fucks with you. Like that shit drives, well, it
Yeah.
drives me fucking insane. Like you think you get dramatic, my whole fucking world melts when I have a
Yeah.
like I didn't like not till like 2 weeks ago, like I literally was like feeling burnt out between like everything work wise. I was like, I'm taking one of my weeks off. I have
Yeah.
2 weeks. I didn't know how I was gonna use them. I'm taking it off.
Fair. Fair. So real.
And I swear to God, I was literally just now I feel old. I feel like an old Puerto Rican because literally what I did my week off was just watch Pokemon and clean.
So real. That's
Like
so
there was
real,
one point
honestly.
I was just straight up blasting music
Yeah.
like a typical Puerto Rican woman cleaning a house. And then I was like over the music and I just had Pokemon playing.
Yeah. No, fair. That's so real. I respect that a lot. Shit.
I
Um,
literally started rewatching Pokemon from the first season.
wow. Damn. Oh my God.
Like that whole week.
Crazy.
I'm still doing it. Like
Yeah.
the other day when I went back to the office, I was like, screw everybody, put my earbuds in. I had freaking the second season of Pokemon Going drafting emotion.
Wow.
So how do you deal with your blocks or
Yeah.
your burnout?
That's a really good question. To be honest with you, I'm kind of going through that right now. I've just been through, like we kind of talked about, been through some like a lot of life shit past couple weeks and even last couple months, honestly. Um, and like in terms of just pushing through that time, right now, I bought myself a course to kind of just like get better with my artwork, because I just felt like, all right, I'm a little stagnant right now, and I'm not happy with where my artwork is at the current moment. I want to get better, and I want to do something that I genuinely enjoy. So probably just trying to learn a new skill. Sometimes relating to art, sometimes not relating to art. Um, that's one method I use. Keeping a sketchbook too. Because like right now it's a lot of digital stuff, and I'm like, all right, I want to do something a little bit more traditional. Experimenting with like my techniques, so like utilizing Blender, or a 3D modeling program or something. Reading as well. I'm reading a lot of novels lately, especially at the gym. That's how I get my cardio in.
You
Novels.
read and work out,
I read on the treadmill. Like
but
6.0.
seriously, you could read while you're on the
Yeah,
treadmill. I
yeah.
wouldn't do it.
I mean, I got to be careful because it's like if I don't watch where I step, I could easily just fall
Yeah,
like flat on
we're
my
gonna have
face.
a video of Seb just like flying off of
Yeah. Um, I was reading, what book was it? I was reading book 3 of the Red Rising series where it's like Hunger Games on Mars, and
Mm,
there was a big character death, and like literally I almost just fell face.
can we just do ebooks? Let it be read to you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a
That might
Kindle
be
too.
smarter.
Yeah, but yeah, so reading either novels or graphic novels. I've been kind of taking a break from reading graphic novels, but I'll probably get back into it. Want to start reading some manga again. Um, Trying to just find new art, visual and like, moving image wise, like movies, animation. Um, what else? Or just like kind of diving into a new hobby, or just seeing people that I haven't seen in a while. What else? Like diving into a hobby, especially like I got big into lifting back in 24, at a time where some stuff was going on, and I was just like, you know what, I want to lock in terms of like some personal development stuff,
Mhm.
and just kind of became like a huge game changer for me. Um, so like finding a new hobby, kind of going back to where I started with experimenting with what I want to do, and just like try to do something like non-art related too. So like it's a mixture of 4 things, but like really just try to think what I need to do is just kind of find less pressure, like give myself a little bit more leeway in terms of doing things. The answer is different for everybody.
Yeah, but people could just take something
Yeah,
and get something off of it. Everyone copes with it differently. Like I'm weird. Marilyn Manson puts me to sleep. So when I can't
yeah,
sleep, I'm listening to Marilyn Manson.
yeah.
I'm weird. When I study, it's straight rock and punk and punk rock music. That's how I study.
Wow.
Um, yeah, that I'm really like everyone has when I write or I do anything, I do have to listen to music, but when I really, really want to focus, it is like straight heavy metal, rock, punk
Yeah. Damn.
rock music, like literally that literally drills me in. So
Yeah.
like that's like, so if I'm doing case law, that's what's in my ears.
No,
Like
fair.
like I
Okay.
laugh at the meme, so like I look like this little professional, little cute thing, and in my ears is like Marilyn Manson
Yeah.
or something.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
So
I mean,
everyone copes with something differently.
yeah,
Um, or like I says, everyone has their phase. You know,
yeah,
when I have music block, I draw. It's really weird. I'll draw. Um, so when I can't draw, I fuck around with music.
yeah.
Um, or I'll play video games. Sometimes playing a video game helps. So
One-
everyone copes with it differently, but I like people to see the fact that there are still ways of coping, or maybe you could pick up a way from
Yeah.
somebody else's, you know, way of handling what everyone gets, burnout or blocks. So I know in the beginning we spoke about mentorship and stuff like that, and what you've been experiencing and been um, welcomed into or introduced to. What do you think some of the big lessons you've learned navigating the industry these past couple of years?
Um, in terms of like the biggest lessons I've learned, I mean, I'm still figuring things out in terms of navigating stuff. Still figuring things out. I feel like I just started. Like I did one comic book where I drew and colored it. That was like my biggest gig yet, and
Mm-hmm.
self-published author. And then I got a mentorship who does mentor with a fantastic artist who does work with DC Comics. And that was like a huge game changer for me too, because personally, that came at a point in my life where I was like, I don't know if I'll ever have like a real boots on the ground mentor. Like if I'll ever, because I just felt like, all right, I got to learn these things on my own. I got to figure things out. I got to pull myself up. Like I hate that phrase. I got to pull myself up by the bootstraps because that literally means do the impossible. But I was like, all right, I need to thug it out. I need to figure something out. Like I had the stereotypical like, um, ideology to a certain extent of like, oh, no one's gonna help me. Like I was in a dark place at that moment before I found the mentor that I have right now. And then when he found me, he was genuinely like, I'll help you out. You take this seriously. You have a lot of talent. I'm more than happy to aid you. And for me, it was almost like, are you messing with me right now?
He's like, yeah, you're fucking with me.
Yeah, exactly. But in terms of like the biggest lessons I've learned was just kind of like, you get what you want when you almost want it the least, which is crazy. But like that to me kind of stuck because I was even listening to like this bodybuilding podcast, and that was even a motif where like this guy was talking about his IFBB pro card, and he was like, I was never gonna get it. I was never gonna get it. And he literally said, one night I woke up from a dream that I actually got it. And then he woke up in the middle of the night after that dream, and he started crying because he was like, I thought I was close to getting it. And then when he finally got it, he was just like, he said, I felt nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then like to a certain extent, it's like when things happen, it's just like, it's weird because you're just like, wait, what? And it's like, by all means, it's like, I'm just starting out. I'm no, and even if I reach that level of like I don't want to say superstardom, but like that level of popularity, like Nick Dragata or like Chase Conley, if it's like quote unquote household name, it's like I would probably still be in denial. I think there would be a level of imposter syndrome. But
Well, you
like,
better see that episode of Imposter Syndrome I did.
but
But it's true when you do the work and you get to finally be at a table that you worked so hard for, you're like, what the fuck? Pinch me,
yeah,
like.
yeah. So that's definitely one. Another one is really just like getting to know people and like connecting with people. Like your network is truly your net worth. I know that's another cliche, but it's also like when you're meeting people and stuff like that, your network is truly everything, because that's just pretty much how you build. Like, community is also very important too. So networking and community, extremely important. You want to have people that like are better than you as well and just push you upwards. That's also extremely important. I think, what is it? You're the average of the 5 people you're like the closest to. I think that's the thing, like a quote or something like that. That's very much true. So like, yeah, definitely like community is how things happen for sure. What's that quote again? Where it's like, if you want to go far, no, if you want to go fast, go not go alone, but it's like, if you want to go far, go with others. Do you know what
It's like on the tip of my tongue, but
yeah,
I can't say it. I've
yeah,
literally, I've
yeah.
been since like this week, I've literally have been tongue tied all week.
So
So,
that's
but I
the,
know what you're talking about.
yeah,
I know the quote. It's like it's here, but I can't say it. But I swear to God,
yeah.
we're done recording this. I'm gonna probably DM you. It was this quote.
Damn it. Yeah, no, yeah. So there's that. And just like, always just try to get 1% better every day, and 1% can be anything in terms of like your routine. Oh snap. Okay, I thought my computer like shut off for a minute. I got so nervous. Anyway, always just try to get 1% better at something, and don't put too much pressure on yourself in terms of like, oh my god, I need to master the fundamentals by like next month. Like, that's not going to be
Yeah,
possible.
that's not possible.
But also at the same time, it's like, another quote that I've been told was just, each day you're not working on your dream, someone else who wants it more is going to take your dream away
That's
from you.
ahead of you.
Exactly. And for me, I was terrible with sports, but I just still have that competitive nature in me. So it's just kind of like, that's also part of my drive as well, where it's like, don't give up no matter what. Or so it's just kind of like that also is infused into like my philosophy with creating and just like making artwork and just storytelling and just illustration especially. So I guess those 3 or 4 things are just kind of like the biggest lessons I've learned. I've yet to learn more for sure. And just in general, just like, also longevity is everything too. Please take care of yourself. I learned that after college a little bit, because like I just kind of let myself go at a certain point. I was eating nonsense of bullshit. And then at a certain, yeah, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, all right, I got to do something. And then also I heard like one of my friends was just kind of, they're established in the industry, and they were just telling me about some of their health problems, and they're older, and I was just kind of like, damn, you know what? I kind of need to take better care of myself and stuff like that, where it was just like, I need to really prioritize my health and well-being. So yeah, I mean, those 4 or 5 things that I kind of just shared. I feel like I speak in paragraphs, so sorry about
Listen, you kind of opened up for the next question. Look, I'm tongue tied already.
that. Wow.
Um, you brought up networking, and I say this whether it's in this industry, any industry, networking is extremely important, and
Yes.
people fail to realize it, especially when there are so many people that are not who they say they are. So, like, the reason why networking is important, because not only does it open opportunities for you, it shows that you put in the work, and when it's time and they really see you and see who you are, and they've not only seen your work,
Hmm.
but they will literally be like, I remember this person, I've seen their work, let's give them the opportunity. And once you get that chance, yeah, a person could be like, oh, I do this, that, and the third, and all they're doing is using AI. We're going to use
Yeah.
that as an example.
Yeah.
And it's time to prove themselves. They fucking fall flat on their
Yeah.
face. And like that person that network with them are going to be like, oh, they just got the gift of gab. That's
Yeah.
all they have. Meanwhile, I remember this other kid that they're going to second guess because of the experience that they had, but then they're really like, yeah, I network with him too. Let's give him a shot.
Yeah.
And you show everything, and it's like, this is the person that we should have been talking from beginning.
Yeah.
So networking is not only important because it not only puts a face to who you are, and it's like the first thing and the first memory or how people incorporate you, but I even told this to another podcaster, like, yes, sending emails and DMing is great, but when you go and take the time and go meet the person and
Yeah.
have that conversation, it hits differently.
100%.
It always hits differently. So how important do you think, you've already said it's important, but how important is it to collaborate with your work, especially
Mm.
with what you do? Because you have to collaborate either with the client or another person at one point.
Yeah. I mean, that's extremely important. It's like, I mean, just collaboration could be something as simple as like, hey, can I get feedback on this? And just kind of what we talked about earlier with constructive criticism and stuff like that. It's like that's how you're going to get better. They're going to bring up things to you that maybe sometimes you either don't want to hear it, or it's like, oh snap, I didn't even think of that, or even like imagine that as a possibility. But now that you mention it, yeah, I need to do X, Y, and Z. So I mean, it's like it's almost integral because it's like art is a human. It's human at the end of the day, and
It's
I,
when a person creates it, not when
yes,
I
exactly. Person when it's
I'm,
person
I'm
created,
gonna
when
take
it's
those
AI,
blows. Leave me alone. I'm gonna
yeah,
throw those jabs.
yeah, exactly. So it's like with man made art, overall, it needs to reach people, even if you're doing illustration where it's more so you're doing something to sell a product. It still has to speak to someone. It can't just be like, the boring crap we see from AI and that we're eventually honestly going to get bored of at a certain point,
The
when
seven.
we're going to know better. So it's like it's extremely integral to be able to collaborate with people in some way, shape, or form, especially in this industry or really any industry, to better understand like what you want to communicate and what you want to convey. So I mean, like it's almost vital, especially right now, where you have literally the world at your fingertips through like social media and stuff like that. Um, so it's pretty important. I mean, I can't give like an exact percentage, but it's integral, especially in art.
Exactly. So you've discussed everything, and I know you're still building your brand, and networking is a part of selling your brand, because as an artist you're selling your work through your networking and everything you do, and now with social media and everything, it's like marketing at all point.
Yeah.
And I know you said you've gone through a process and you're still going through a process. How have you gone about building your brand? Like, what was your approach?
In terms of building my approach, it was just like once again, kind of in chaos, where I was just like, all right, throwing spaghetti at a wall, see what kind of sticks, but also just kind of like um seeing what would work for me and seeing what other people work as what other people how they work as well. That's also another thing. Just try to learn from others. Talk to people. Just try to understand. All right, what am I trying to communicate, and what am I trying to convey? So just kind of like learning from others, learning from myself, especially, and just kind of also just being real with myself. Like, all right, what do we need to do? Just really asking myself the tough questions, like, all right, how am I going to actually build this brand? What do I know and what do I don't know? Really just doing as much research as possible, both out in the world, but also within here too. Because even though you're building a brand, you still have to make something that speaks to you, or else you're going to be a fraud. So it's just kind of like you have to understand like yourself and just have a level of self-awareness to actually move within like the confines of where you want to go into, and figure out how to expand from that as well. So just really try to learn from others, especially, and learn from yourself too. Just trial and error too. That's another huge factor. I hope that answered your question.
No, it does. I so you know me, I always find a way, because like everyone goes through something, and there's so many now new young creatives, but there's also people that either are late bloomers or decided to change their career. So I always like to ask something to have something for them to look forward to it, or maybe take this advice. Do you really think it's very important for any creator, whether it's in the art world, music, any creator of that sense, to think like an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I didn't even have to think about that. But it's like, especially as a freelancer, it's like, yeah, you got to figure out how to promote yourself, how to like move within the career that you want, especially like whether it be editorial illustration, comics, concept art. You have to figure out how to brand yourself, what we were talking about, and just in general, you have to understand like, all right, where do I fit, quote unquote, fit in? Because hey, you're trying to also fit in, but also it's like they're hiring you for a particular reason, where or for a job because you have a
You
unique
have
voice.
to fit in and stand out at the same time, kind of concept.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got to figure out a way to keep it real in the corporate world, like, so um but it's just like it's extremely important for artists to think like entrepreneurs, because at the end of the day, we're our representative. And it's like, even if you have an agent, you have to understand, all right, is this agent actually standing up for me? Are they truly gonna like come up to the occasion, or is it my job? And at the end of the day, guess what, it's your job. So you can have the best representatives, you can have the best agents you want, but at the same time, you have to be your own advocate for yourself. So yeah, it's once again, I'm gonna use the word vital again in this aspect, but it's vital for artists to view themselves as entrepreneurs, especially right now. So yeah.
That's awesome, and I'm so happy you said it and expressed it in that way. So, we're also going to go back to the fact you brought up like people that are technically were considered minorities. I don't know, there's more us than them now, but like Latinos, like the brown individual, but we'll just use the minority aspect of it because that's how we are seen,
Yeah.
whether we look like them or not. Culture and impact have been a very big thing the last couple of years, especially for us in the Puerto Rican community and the Latino and Hispanic community. Um, how do you feel cultural influences your work and your perspective?
In terms of how culture my cultural influence fits within my perspective and my work, I mean, kind of just bringing it back. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the interview, but I guess bring it up to the audience. I grew up third generation Puerto Rican. My dad is from the South Bronx. My mom is from Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And growing up Puerto Rican, I just didn't see a lot of representation. It wasn't until I was like 11 where Miles Morales actually like made his first debut, and that was like huge for me, and it was huge for my family too. And they don't even follow comics or anything like that. So for me, it was huge. And then seeing him at 18 years old in the Spider-Verse movie, I was like, oh my god, this is like full circle now. Um, so that shaped my perspective, and it's just about, even a lot of the artists I look up to are like people of color, especially because it's just like it's awesome to see people with your interests, but also your perspective on stuff. Like Chase Conley, African American, John Paul Leon, Cuban American from Miami. Who else? Some manga creators that, it's like manga was looked at as like you're weird if you follow that back in like the 80s and 90s, from what I understand. And then like in my age group, it's like, oh, all of a sudden manga and anime is cool. And I'm just like, like it was always just like, all right, cool. But
Listen, being a nerd in the 80s and 90s and maybe early
yeah,
2000s was frowned upon. Like,
yeah,
I had to hide my fandom.
yeah,
I was told to hide my fandom. It took me turning fucking 30 to say, fuck all y'all motherfuckers. This is how I heal. This is how I am. I'm a fucking fan. I love my shit, and that's it.
yeah,
Like,
no,
deal with
fair. And so yeah, with everything I just said, it's like those
it.
old voices influence me the most. And then on top of that, just kind of like in terms of how it might influence my artwork directly, I mean, Puerto Ricans were also like partially like credited as like making hip hop and stuff like that.
What
And
do you
so
mean partially credited?
okay, very much. I want to
Whoa!
give respect to
Listen,
that.
I
I
adore
want to give
you,
respect.
Sebastian, but
I want to give
my
respect to the
cousin was the
African American
person that did
community
it.
too. I want to give a lot of respect to that because I just feel like in general, like there's a whole conversation like about like
There,
just yeah.
listen,
But let me.
like I
Sorry,
understand that
I might
conversation,
downplay it. My bad.
and people could say whatever they want, but even the legends have gone down and
Yeah.
said
Okay. All
it.
right.
They were there, and my
Appreciate
cousin was that
it.
person, and
Thank you.
like he opened so many doors, not
True.
just for Puerto Ricanos and our music and taking our music and blending it, but you know, it sucks because like sometimes I feel like he didn't get his credit when his credit was due.
Yeah.
Like he kind of fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
And seeing my cousin and seeing his career and then like how many doors did he open up? Like DJ Enough wouldn't be DJ Enough if it wasn't for Charlie Chase.
True.
And
Yeah.
DJ Enough has said it.
True.
There wouldn't be a DJ Camilo. There wouldn't be a DJ Lobo. There wouldn't be La Mega. There
Yeah.
wouldn't be a Bacang. Like all these Latino DJs wouldn't exist if my cousin didn't pave that way for them. Not only did he help create hip hop and showed that our music can be mixed with anything if done properly and help build the foundations of hip hop, but it wasn't partial credit. We
Of
get
course.
full
Yeah.
credit too,
Full
and
credit.
even the legends are saying it.
Right.
And I don't care what this younger generation, they could say whatever they want, but I know a person that was a part of that history and that
True.
did the work.
You're right.
So
My
I'm
bad.
sorry I had to jump there, but
I appreciate you calling me out as well. Thank you. I'm always all about just giving people their flowers as well. Which I'm sorry if I.
no, it's not offensive. It's
No,
just
yeah,
but this is also another thing why I have this podcast because there's so much misinterpretation and there's so much misinformation out there. And a lot of our Puerto Rican culture and history has fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
Because like you said in the beginning, you said you didn't have no one to relate. I didn't have no one to relate to. Like I had no Latina that looked like me, really look like me or be like me there. Yeah, I had Gloria Estefan, but she was a Cuban woman.
True.
I really, yeah, Jennifer Lopez is Jennifer Lopez, but I really don't like her like that, and I don't idolize her in that sense.
Yeah.
Like I idolize Celia Cruz more than I did her.
No, yeah, naturally. I get it.
Idolize Gloria Estefan more than that. But still, none of them looked like me.
Yeah. No, exactly.
They were Latina, but some of them were Trigueño or how. And I guess you could say I'm first generation because my mom was born in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
My dad was born in Spanish Harlem, but his parents were from Puerto Rico. So I'm like first, second generation.
Yeah.
And that representation wasn't there, even in comics.
Yeah.
Because we had White Tiger, but I really couldn't relate because White Tiger was from the Bronx.
Yeah.
I was a Puerto Rican girl from the whitest side of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Wow. Like who did I have? And then Miles came out, and I related to Miles the fact that he was of Puerto Rican descent. His mom was Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And then his dad worked for NYPD. And I was like, oh shit, I got two things. My dad works for NYPD.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but I do love Miles.
True. Yeah. No, exactly. Because I get it.
It was that representation. And then culturally, I actually wrote a paper on this. As time progressed, our Puerto Rican culture disappeared from sometimes. New York culture just like vanished.
Yeah.
Like you will only see it during June, and it
Yeah.
kind of made me feel some type of way, like, why are we only being celebrated once a month?
Yeah.
Like, why is the youth like, why am I the only young girl my age that knows about Bomba y Plena and I dance it?
Mhm.
Like, why do I know about my Taino culture? Why do I know my history? What happened to the people on the island? How at one point it was illegal to not wave a flag. Like, that disappeared and was gone for some time, and, like, this is why I'm so happy, like, we have been pushing it forward, and Bad Bunny has done what he's done, and Ricky Martin has done what he's done, and Marc Anthony continues to do what he does. But I've also seen our culture be used and abused for
Yeah.
the wrong
Of
reasons
course.
and to just profit off of it,
Yeah.
but it happens with everything.
Yeah.
So, with that also being said, do you feel like it is a responsibility to use your platform and creativity to say something bigger, being that you're a part of creating our Puerto Rican
Yeah.
history moving forward? Because now it's kinda up to us because
For
still
sure.
our younger generation is still
Yeah.
lost. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, hey, I'll be honest with you, to a certain extent, I wouldn't say I felt lost, but I mean, like, it's like a joke on the internet where so many Puerto Ricans don't know how to speak Spanish, and unfortunately, I'm one of them. I'm a No
I
Sabo
speak
kid. Yeah,
English.
I'm a No Sabo kid. Like, it's embarrassing. Even my dad's like,
What?
yeah. So
What do you call it?
No Sabo. It's like
Oh,
the
no.
generation of like Hispanic kids that don't unfortunately speak Spanish, and it's just like I grew up with my grandmother while she was, while my parents were working. Where my grandmother, for the most part, she was raised in Brooklyn and born in Brooklyn as well, or like just born and raised in Brooklyn, and like it was just like she just did it with English. Like she just spoke to us in English. Like she didn't think about teaching us in Spanish, and my parents just kind of brushed it off maybe, and then now they're like, "Oh snap, what do we do?"
Like,
Especially
we
my dad.
messed up.
Yeah, like we messed up. And it's just like, damn, and it's like, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it is partially it is definitely my response. Not even partially. I take full responsibility. Um, Especially just because, like, I just with the America we live in right now, it's like it's just, yeah. So I mean, I want to push that at the forefront, but also at the same time, it's like I want to push, like, I just want to push like dope shit out there, especially as an artist. And it's just like, just so happens I'm Puerto Rican as well, and it's like, yeah, I want to promote other awesome Puerto Rican artists too. So
But,
like,
no,
yeah,
it comes with the territory, like, you know, it could, like, let's say there a little kid comes across your artwork, and whether he's Puerto Riqueño, Cubano, Mexicano, Dominicano, whatever he's a Hispanic, but he kinda looks like you.
yeah,
He's gonna see your artwork, and then when he finds out, "Oh my god, he's a Latino," like, I could do this.
yeah,
And I feel like that's what's important, and that's something I've also strived for, not just as a Latina woman, and I take, like, people, like, I give people, like, you identify however you want, but don't force your identity on me.
of course,
Very proud Latina. I
same,
do not use the terminology Latinx. I'm actually offended by it because as a Puerto Rican woman and a Latina, Latinas fought very hard to put
very,
respect on that word.
yeah,
And for you now to try to take it away from us and say we have to use this, it's kind of insulting.
yeah,
Um, so like I feel like not only do I want to be a representation for a little girl or a little boy or aspire them in any way to say like, oh, I can do this, but I also do it as a survivor. Like we're able to overcome the stereotypes that are placed on us.
yeah,
And I feel like we need to do that more and more. And I love seeing younger generations and people like you continuing the work and doing it the right way.
yeah,
And then showing that education is of importance and we're capable of doing that because a lot of people still think we're uneducated.
yeah,
We're not professional, like we can't hold these conversations. But also going back to the you're a no sabo kid.
yeah,
Um, actually, that's almost a thing that happened. A lot of Puerto Riqueños that came from Puerto Rico to the United States because they wanted to do better had this thing that they didn't want their children to learn Spanish or English. There's a lot of people, like older generations than us, that don't speak English or Spanish. Like there's a lot of lawyers that are Latino lawyers that don't speak Spanish because their parents chose to stop speaking Spanish because they were here and they had to fit in. So
Yeah.
they had to speak English and they were forced. My situation of what happened is the only people I could talk Spanish with is my family, but then I was able to also get away with answering in English and being spoken to in Spanish. So I read, write, and understand Spanish fluently, but my Spanish is only conversational.
Yeah.
I will never say I fully speak Spanish because
Yeah.
I forget words. But what
Yeah.
happened to me was I went to an all-white school, and well, mostly I went to a school, but it was predominantly white. But I felt bad for the Spanish kids in the class that didn't speak English. So I would only befriend them and was talking to them. And I was told that if I didn't speak English, I was going to be put in ESL. So I was kind of forced to only speak
Yeah.
English. And then growing up, I had Spanish friends. I think maybe 2 or 3 that maybe spoke Spanish. So we would only speak when we didn't want people to understand what we were saying or
Yeah.
we were talking shit about somebody.
Yeah.
Like I still fucking do it. My
course.
kids don't speak Spanish. They say a little bit of words and they understand. I think my son's learning more Italian than he is Spanish.
Interesting.
But I'll give him the conversation. He's like, "What are you saying?" And I'll be like, "Learn Spanish."
Yeah, I get it.
So like, you know, but we make sure that the culture is there. And then I have kind of been forced in the past, what we're going on 10 years, to speak Spanish more because my in-laws are Dominican and yeah, they speak English, but they're like, no, you're speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Like literally when I go there, I'm like
Oh my
forced,
gosh.
but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you come to appreciate it more.
Of course.
And you know, yeah, speaking in English, there'll also be times that I'll be speaking in English and I'll be like, what the fuck is the English word? Because I only know the Spanish word, like
Yeah.
certain fruit, like guanabara.
Yeah.
I didn't know the English language, the English word with it. I learned from a Jamaican what it was. They're like, oh, this is the sour sap. And I'll be like, no, that's a guanabara. And it was sour sap.
I get it.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's certain words, or like I'll be speaking in Spanish and I'll forget the word.
Yeah.
So I'll say it in English and then go from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, and it's mad funny. So but it was actually a cultural thing almost, that when los Puertorriqueños came from Puerto Rico to New York or to the States or to the mainland, they kind of forced their children to stop, that they didn't want them speaking Spanish. They didn't want them. They were like, we came here, we got to fit in. And this is how we fit in.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks because like I've even had the opportunity. I don't know if you know who los Puertorriqueños are, the military service of the.
Oh yeah. Okay. I've heard of them. Yeah.
I've had an honor of meeting a couple of those people, and he's become a mentor for me, an attorney. His father was one of los Puertorriqueños, and he didn't speak Spanish, and he doesn't speak Spanish because he was forced to speak English because his father said no.
Wow.
So it happens. They thought by coming here and assimilating and losing everything that they weren't going to face the challenges that we faced or they faced.
Yeah.
But it kind of is like a kick in the face because now the kids are like, oh shit, I wish I would have learned. Or you'll get the kids that are adults that were like, I want to learn now. So it's kind of not your fault. It happened.
Yeah.
So it was like a choice that was made, but
yeah,
you could still learn.
No, yeah. I'm definitely going to, for sure. Yeah, I know there's a ton of free stuff out there, and like I think I'm able to get a discount to Rosetta from Rosetta Stone, so I'm gonna look into that. But yeah,
I don't know about the Rosetta. You know what?
Really? Is it not good?
I don't know how I feel about the apps. Like honestly, like I understand Italian. I understand French, a little bit of French. Um, I learned how to curse in Russian because of my classmates.
Of
My team,
course.
I was on
Yeah.
the team, and half of them were all Russian.
Yeah.
So I learned certain words, especially the curse words. I learned a little bit of Chinese from Chinese friends, and I learned a little bit of Japanese from Japanese friends. Um, but when it comes to Spanish and what helped me more with my Spanish when it wasn't a conversational thing was watching stuff in that language.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like straight up watch the news in Spanish. Not
Yeah.
only do you get more information and
Yeah.
like I've always told people like I really don't watch American news. I'll watch the Italian news, I'll watch Spanish news because you get more information.
Got it.
Watch
Interesting.
something in Spanish. Like put an anime in Spanish. There we
Really,
go.
yeah, that's not a bad idea for
But
sure.
this is another thing that I've also learned. I'm still new to the con scene. I say I'm like a baby. I'm like going on 3 years. Um, I wasn't a. I'm not as a big anime fan as you are.
Mm.
Like my anime was Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, um, Avatar. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the closest. And then like when I had my daughter, I got into Miraculous and then the K-pop Demon
Yeah.
Hunters. That was the closest I got to it. Now I started like because
Of
now I'm
course.
more seen and I like to me now it's like doing research.
Yeah.
Anime is my research now
Of
because like
course.
I need to start understanding. Like I'm
Yeah.
interviewing people. I at cosplays. I want to know
Yeah.
these different cosplays. Like I need to know who these characters are. I don't want to be like a lost puppy, even though I make fun. You know, it's funny when I do it,
Yeah.
but I still want to know. So like
Yeah.
now I've been watching like different animes. I've created a list of animes for me to watch, but I've learned why there is a huge fan base
Hmm.
of Dominicans in anime.
Oh, interesting.
Because in Santo Domingo, they didn't show the American cartoons. They were watching anime.
Really?
They had Dragon Ball Z and
Yeah. I heard that a lot with Mexico,
Guerrero.
especially.
And same thing in South America. And I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I
But
heard.
isn't it crazy?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I heard that a lot in Mexico, especially with DBZ and just how what was it? It was like Mexicans were more upset than Japanese people when Akira Toriyama, legend, may he rest in peace, when he
Yeah.
died, and just like like yeah, I can see it. No, yeah, that makes total sense now. Holy shit.
I like because we all go through culture shocks.
Yeah.
Like, when I see fan basing, I'm like, shit, I didn't, like, wow, there's a lot of Latinos. Like, there's a lot of the blur community.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't see things often. You
Yeah.
wouldn't understand. So like our
Makes sense.
nerdisms, our fandoms had to be hidden because
Of
the only
course.
cool thing were the jocks and the popular
Yeah.
people. Like everything else was whack. Meanwhile, we were the fucking better ones. Now everyone wants to fucking be us.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, you know, but like I understand the blur community because they were here.
Yeah.
But like when I started realizing that there was a lot of Latinos or Hispanic cultures that were really into the anime stuff, and I was like, bro, was it because here? But then I know some of them, and I'm like, but a lot of those animes weren't here during that time. So how are you watching them?
Yeah.
We didn't have internet yet, bro.
Yeah.
Like dial-up wasn't even around yet. So, like, how were you? There was no LimeWire. Like,
Yeah.
how were you watching them? So
Interesting.
what it was is if they lived in those countries or they would go to those countries to visit, that's all they had to watch.
Sure. Yeah. No, fair.
And like people like my husband is my anime dictionary.
Of course.
Literally, like I lean on my husband more. And if it wasn't for him going to Santo Domingo every summer, he wouldn't know anime the way he does. Like, I literally look at him and be like, "Who's that? Like, what's that?" Like, I swear to God, my husband is my cheese sheet.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I went to Otaku Fest and I was like literally testing myself. I'll be like, "That's this person," and he'll be like, "Yes or no," and that's because like I want to know, I want
Yeah.
to learn, and you even spoke about you're still learning, you're still developing, and it shows not only that no matter the age, no matter the point in life you're still
Right.
going to learn.
Yeah.
And this is where I also go back to my philosophy, other than me not having no more talent by the time I'm done, um is Socrates. I've always lived by this since I was a little girl. I know that I don't know everything, which is why I question everything,
Yeah.
because there's always a learning opportunity.
Right.
And I feel like you're embodying that. You've spoken about it and you've spoken so much about how you're still developing
Yeah.
and how your culture is impacting and your education and everything you do. And you even said the most important thing, you have to take collaborative criticism. It's a part of life and it's a
Yeah.
part of your process of doing this. So, moving forward, what do you think is really next for you?
Moving forward, what is next for me? Um, that's a good question. I mean, just really just trying to get better. Better. I mean, I know that's vague, but better understand the art fundamentals, especially with like form, drawing, perspective. Making sure I'm able to convey my message better with what I want to do with my artwork. Understanding what I actually want to do for my artwork, because I have ideas in my head and there are projects that I want to do. Especially like I want to start making some like one shot comics of like some stories that I have in mind. Um, but currently my hands are a little tied just with some responsibilities. But it's like I want to get back into that. I want to make sure I can go out with like saying, all right, I put out this story
Mhm.
and it reached somebody or it reached a group of people. And that's what's extremely important to me right now. And it's like I want to be able to get to do that eventually. Eventually, I just want to be able to make something that resonates with me, resonates with other people, and then just pretty much inspire other people to like create awesome artwork as well.
No, some badass shit.
Yes, badass shit, exactly. And
You're gonna have to make a shirt. I make badass shit.
exactly, yeah. And it's like I want to do that. Plus, I mean, at one point I was also just like so frustrated with the job market, and I was like, just for artists in general, or just like with freelancing and what's going on right now. And I was like, you know what? Eventually, I just want to be able to make something myself, and also hopefully, I hope to make something like awesome with other friends of mine. Um, and just also, I'm someone who's just naturally very giving, almost to a detriment. I am always willing to give the shirt off my back towards somebody if I, of course I check in with my own needs and what I need at the end of the day, but also at the same time it's like why wouldn't I want to help out a human being who's seems like a decent person? Like I'm just a very compassionate individual at the end of the day. Which feels weird to say. I don't trust people who say stuff like, "Oh, I'm humble." And it's like it doesn't sound like you're humble because humble people don't admit that they're humble. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just like
I don't
um,
like I don't say I'm humble. I don't I wouldn't consider myself humble, even though people say I'm humble. I'm more empathetic.
yes. Yeah, that's a
I
good way of
won't
putting it.
say I'm humble. Like, people do describe me that way. I was like, no, I'm just a fucking bitch that's empathetic and I tell it how it is.
I mean,
So
I'm
I understand you completely. Listen, I rather be a positive light in this
yeah,
world than some form of darkness or lost hope.
yeah,
We have too much going on.
yeah.
But with that being said, is there a person, like one person, that you hope, or like your hopes and dreams, or we're manifesting this, and you're going to end up doing this? Is there one artist that you would love to collaborate with?
One artist. Oh my god, that's tough. Um,
Obviously, everyone that you want, but
there's
is
a
there
huge
this
list.
one person,
Just
or
one
are you
person.
like that
Um,
top of the list? that you would love to collaborate with?
Dead or alive, or are we just doing alive right now?
Dead or alive, whatever you want.
Um, for me, let's see.
You could do dead, the dead, and then alive.
All right, all right. That's not a bad option. Dead. One artist named Jason Pearson, because he kind of also at the end of college too. I also was like figuring out, okay, I think I like strong draftsmanship more, and like there was this one artist named Jason Pearson who did like a lot of '90s stuff, and like he had died maybe the year before or something, and like I just saw his work and I was like, oh shit, this is what I needed to like fuel me a lot more. Like this is exactly what and I just remember my friend showing me his work and I was just like this is crack. Like I don't know how to do like but like genuinely just the way he did everything from like the way he stylized figures but also his storytelling techniques was just incredible. And like he did this creator owned series called Body Bags, um where it's probably like it's an interesting story because it's about this hitman who has this estranged daughter, and it's just pretty much it's just like a self-contained really simple story, but at the same time to me it was just like, oh my god, why is this so life-changing? Because it was because of the artwork, the storytelling, just everything that Jason was able to do within that story was just incredible. And just kind of that refueled my that was partially what refueled my love of just like strong draftsmanship and drawing and comics especially. That's one of the many stories. So him, on the dead list. Alive, I mean, I got to go with Chase Conley. He's probably been one of my biggest influences since I was like 12 years old. Chase is like the episodic director of X-Men 97, actually. And like he also was someone who reinvigorated my love for just like draftsmanship in general. And he's also someone I just go to in terms of like motivation and like influences. And I'm like, all right, how can I learn from this artist? And even at one point, I had to tell myself, okay, I love this artist. He's my influence, but I can't have him. I can't be like a broke imitation of him. I can't be like the Timu version of him. And I felt like, with all due respect for anyone who shops at Timu, but I just felt like, you know what?
Like
I
I'm
love
not
this
gonna be
guy.
the Timu version.
Yeah. I can't be the Timu version of him because it's like one, it's like it's disrespectful to him. It's also disrespectful to myself. So I'm like, I need to figure out a way to just do better with my own work and just actually push myself. It was actually incredible too because I got to meet him a little while ago at Lightbox Expo, and I just said, "Hey, thank you for your incredible work. I really appreciate what you do."
Isn't
And
it so cool to meet people that like inspire you at one
yeah,
point?
it's insane.
Even though like there's that saying, don't meet your heroes,
Yeah,
but like still like I think it's different for creators.
100%. Yeah, it's very much different. It can be the same way sometimes. There have been some artists where I met them after I used to like look up to them, and they just kind of drifted into a weird direction. I'm like, wow, if it were like years past, I would have loved to meet you, and now I'm just like, eh. But
Ugh.
um, but like it's just like with people like that, with him, it was just like I was just like, dude, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like you changed my life for the better, and like I appreciate what you do. He was like, thanks, man, and he was chill. He asked for my name even, and that in general means a lot.
Mhm.
So he's incredible. Would love to collaborate with him. Um, but yeah, I mean, just like in general, like yeah, those two artists especially.
That's awesome, and they're very good artists.
Yeah.
They were part of my childhood.
Oh yeah.
Especially that X-Men one. Oh my god, that was one of my favorite X-Men. So now we're gonna do this rapid fire.
Okay.
So first first thing that comes to your head.
Okay.
Ready? One word that describes your creative style.
Uh, loud.
A project you wished you worked on.
Wished.
Yeah, like projects that happen, like you wish you were part of that project.
Uh, Hades. The games. Yeah.
Your go-to tool or software you can't live without.
Damn it. Photoshop.
Okay. And then last one. Music or silence when creating?
Depends what I'm creating, but music for the most part.
Okay. All right. So I hope I wasn't too hard on you. So before we get to closing, as you know, we always do a poisonous challenge. So we have to create a Sebastian challenge.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so come up with an idea that will be considered your challenge for the poisonous challenge.
So what is
So
like
it's usually something like, so since you're an artist or an illustrator, we could do like draw something, a theme or something.
okay. I think I have an idea in mind. This is something I got from a class I took in college where it was like one of the prompts for like an assignment, but we got to do whatever we wanted. And he was just like, if you don't know what to do this.
Okay.
Um, so make an illustration. Um, take three things you like and three things you don't like and put in that illustration. It could be anything. If you want to do like a character design for something or an environment design, even that's not an illustration, by all means do it. But you have to take three things you like, three things you don't like. You have to make a piece of artwork revolving around it.
I
So
like
that's
that
my
one.
challenge. Thank you.
Yeah, my professor sucked. They didn't give us no drawing. I wouldn't appreciate that kind of assignment.
He was a cool dude. He on the first day of class, his icebreaker one of his icebreaker questions was, "What's your favorite thing to make that's not art?" And for me, I was just like,
I would think there will be a lot of wild answers
yeah.
to that.
For me, I shot myself in the foot that year because it was a screen printing class, and it was just kind of like I had to deal with so much shit in that class in terms of like supplies. Like there was a shortage of it because it was also during COVID. Like at one point, my screen got damaged. It was insane. But I said the thing I love to make that's not artwork is my life much more complicated than what it has to be. And that just spiraled into like, yeah, this class is gonna humble you real quick, real fucking quick. And like, would I take screen printing again? Well, like a graded class, no, because it's too much pressure. But I would love to do screen printing again, but never graded. In that case, because it was just like way too much pressure. I always just felt like I had to perform like the craziest shit, and I was just like, every week I was just like, oh my god, I've never been so embarrassed by something I've made before in my entire life. Like this is actually humbling. Like I thought I had bad experiences before this class. This class actually truly did humbled it. And by no means did I ever have a cocky attitude, but it was just like, oh my god.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah. So
When you least expect it, it will smack you dead
yeah.
in. It's not even a smack. It's just like a punch in the
Yeah,
fucking.
no, it really is a punch. It's a hell of a punch, yeah.
So, with that being said, the Poisonous Challenge Sebastian edition is create an illustration or drawing, whatever you want, with three things you like and three things you don't like. So, using that and using those six things to create that piece of artwork.
Yeah.
And then obviously, they're going to have to tag us on it, and let's see who jumps in on it.
Hell yeah.
So,
Looking forward.
like I says, I like leaving messages of positivity. I need from you, this is a must. What would you have to say to whatever, a younger person, a creative person, a late bloomer, a person that decided to change their career? What is one piece of advice you really wish they need or think they need to hear?
For me, something that stuck with me, I can only give one piece of advice.
Oh, whatever advice. Let's go with whatever.
In terms of work ethic is something I value a lot, personally. But so I'm gonna say in this aspect, work ethic, that quote about each day you're not working on your dreams, someone else who's behind you and wants it more than you is gonna be one step ahead of you. Um, that's something that just stuck with me, and I just feel like has I've never let it go personally. And two, something that I was told at one point, um, don't change, grow, but don't change. Um, because it's like be true to yourself. If you need to change for the better, by all means, it's like, all right, get your stuff together. But like with the stuff I'm interested towards and like what I want to do, I would not change myself or what I want to do to fit in with an audience necessarily. I want to make sure I can display what I'm passionate about and do that. But also, if it's like I need to improve upon how I do it, by all means, I want to improve. So yeah, that's those are like the two biggest pieces of advice. I'm sure there's probably going to be more that I'm going to be like, damn it.
It's gonna hit you later.
Those two.
No,
That's
and it's great advice. I think everything you spoke about was not only inspiring, but information that I think everyone needs to hear. And I'm so thankful and appreciative that you came on the show, shared your story. We got to see some of your artwork, and looking forward to seeing you progress in your career. Thank you for coming and tuning in. Well, I don't know why. See, I'm all messed up.
all right, you're good.
Please, you can find Sebastian on Instagram.
Really just IG. Yeah,
Or
IG is really the
IG.
main
Like
platform.
that's my go-to. IG. It's just easier. And then obviously your website.
Yes.
So stay tuned for more. Is there any like con appearances that you'll be making at some point?
Not yet. Right now I just kind of have my hands tied a little bit. Hoping New York Comic Con, either roaming around or possibly never helping out Edgardo. Possibly, we'll see. Whenever he calls upon me, I'm more than happy to help.
We gotta get you at one of these cons. I'm gonna probably just have you drag you to a con with me.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you're not following Sebastian, like I said, you're stupid because it's amazing. And stay tuned for more beasties. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.